right, and parents, sorry about that. We've been having technical difficulties with the camera all weekend, and I think I finally figured out what it was. So we are bringing to you the New England Championship, Mid-Fairfield against Mount St. Charles. This game is going to determine who goes to the national championship for USA Hockey. So starting in net is Chris Faich. So far we are scoreless, 15:47 into the game. And here comes Mount. Looks to get things set up, but nice stick work by Mid-Fairfield. Trying to get the puck to Lopiano. Up in the air. Boudry now trying to dump it in, and does. Dumped in on the side of Faich. O'Neill gets there, dumps it to the opposite corner. Johnston with a cross-ice pass. There you go to Pan. Pan with an off-angle shot, loose out in front. And here comes Hurl. Gets it to O'Neill, who gains the zone. O'Neill winds up, shot on net. So 14:59 left in the first period. We're scoreless. Correa at the center position. He's got Johnston and Pan up front. Hurl and O'Neill manning the blue line. And parents, as always, if you could comment on the parent chat, just make sure the audio and video is coming through. Puck squirts by O'Neill, so Mid-Fairfield loses the zone. O'Neill over to Hurl. Over to Pan, and Mid-Fairfield loses the puck. Gained it again. Still battling for possession. Oh, and here comes Mount. Nice stick work by Hurl to deny the shot. Mid-Fairfield coming out feisty. But you've got to watch Mount. Many skilled players here. Just trying to get the puck out as a chore against them. High up off the glass and into the Mid-Fairfield bench it goes. 14:08 left in the first period. So the face-off. Won by Mid-Fairfield. Shunk slides it over there, but Mount gets there first. Tries to set up a play in the middle. Here comes Mid-Fairfield. Lukey up with it, but whiffs on the shot. Mount back up with it. Ricker now slides it over his teammate's shot and into Faich's stomach. 13:45 left in the first period. Scranton at the face-off. Win by Mount, shot, deflected up into the netting. So Scranton will be out there with LeConte. And out to the Mount defenseman, trying to set up in the middle. And see what Mount tries to do. They try to flood that middle part of the zone, get clean shots on the slot area. Piccaro turns and tries to get it out, but it's deflected back into the Mid-Fairfield zone. There they go again, trying that middle play right in the slot area. Saved by Faich off the pad. High up into the air, LeConte puts the puck. Lutke all over the Mount players. And Mount gains the zone, leaves it for their defenseman. Shot and blocked by mid-Fairfield. And here comes James Ware. He might have an opportunity here. He's got Malefus deep in front. And Mount gets back in time. Mount settles the puck down behind their own net, comes out of the zone. And into the slot, shot, and over the net. Bohemian right out in front and loses the handle. Another shot that goes into Faitch's stomach. 12-11. Lots of up and down action here so far. So win by Mount, they're up with the puck. Correa all over the Mount players, but now it's out loose, tipped. And here comes mid-Fairfield racing out of the zone, dump back. I believe they're going to call an intentional offside there on mid-Fairfield. So Malefus at center, win by Mount. And there goes, oh, Malefus just trying to get it out. Looked like he was gonna have a breakaway there for a second. Mount in control of the puck, dumps it back in behind Faitch. Correa going at it behind the play. Mount all over the mid-Fairfield puck handlers. Vartanian flips it out. And Correa tries to feed Fuggerino. Fuggerino up with it, leaves it for Hurl. Hurl just trying to dump it deep in the Mount zone. And here comes Mount. The shot, nice block by mid-Fairfield. Now here comes, let's see, yep. Sorry, Eric Pan trying to feed Scranton. Scranton behind the net, he's got Johnston out there with him. Shunk pokes his nose in, deflects off of Johnston and onto the Mount goalkeeper. Scranton digging in the corner, trying to gain possession. And here comes Pan with a shot that's blocked. Pan, though, is able to keep the puck in. Johnston leaves it for Scranton, another blocked shot. Caccaro over to Shunk, who winds up shot right into the stomach of the Mount goalkeeper. 10-14, and we're scoreless here in Exeter, New Hampshire. The winner of today's game punches their ticket to the national championship out in Michigan in March. So Malefus at center with the win. Boudry over to DeRoberts. Oh, it's loose out in front. The goalie was down. Malefus just trying to gain possession of it. Oh, mid-Fairfield with a big hit in the corner. Puck loose out in front. Swatting at it. Both teams swatting at it. Nobody can get a handle on it. And now the puck skips to the opposite corner. So mid-Fairfield with a couple opportunities there. And now the puck comes out of the zone. Nice stick work again by mid-Fairfield. Here comes Jackson Ludke. Gets by one player, but a back-checking Mount player dislodges the puck. Oh, steal by Vartanian. But goes back to Charbonneau's shot, misses the net. Lopiano gets there first, but Charbonneau is able to get there to the puck. It skips by him after a hit by mid-Fairfield. Here comes Lopiano. Still mid-Fairfield fighting for possession of the puck. Vartanian now in the corner. Stolen by mid-Fairfield, but it's gloved by the Mount goalkeeper. So 8:50 left in the first period. We're scoreless here. So Cullen Correa up front, he's got Vartanian and Lopiano. Hurl and O'Neill, I believe. All right, we're gonna have a stoppage in play here. Correa back out in front. Oh, another shot on the Mount goalkeeper. Correa was able to push it onto the goalkeeper. You notice Cullen Correa uses that lacrosse-style face-off. Win by Mount. Shoveled high up into the air into the neutral zone. Here comes Mount. Blocked, and it's in. So Mount is able to strike first here. Johnston able to win the face-off. Carl up with the puck, slides it over. Tipped pass by Mount, so that would be no icing there. And Fairfield's trying to get things up with Pan. Pan loses the handle. Long pass to Campbell. Stolen by mid-Fairfield. And dumped back in. Blocked though, right by the blue line. Johnston tries to feed Caccaro, but misfires. And Johnston lets the puck go into the Mount zone. Mid-Fairfield goes for a shift change here. Scranton, puck deflects off Scranton. And the errant pass goes to Caccaro. Caccaro across the center line dumps it in. Shot on the Mount goalkeeper. Oh, beautiful play by Malefis to pick the pocket. The Mount player. Scranton now battling for possession. It's thrown out. DeRoberts unable to get it. And a back-checking Malefis is able to dislodge the puck. And Fairfield struggling to get it out of the zone. Here comes Scranton, who finally forces it out into the neutral zone. And Fairfield, beginning part of this period, was doing a good job with puck possession. In the last few minutes, though, struggling to maintain it. Should be an icing call on Mount. 6:26 left in the first period. Mount up 1-0 over mid-Fairfield. So Correa up front. He's got Lutke and LeConte with him. Pearl and O'Neill. And the puck shoveled out. O'Neill able to try to feed his teammate, and mid-Fairfield dumps it back in again. Nice block by Hurl. Unable to get it out cleanly though, and Mount dumps it back in. Mid Fairfield still battling. Mount up with possession. It's a pick play by Charbonneau. Out to the Mount defenseman. Shot. Deflects. Shot saved by Fates with a blocker. Blast from Charbonneau. Another shot way high. Mid Fairfield just desperately trying to clear the puck here. And finally does out to the neutral zone. Puck goes to the opposite corner, high up off the glass. D-to-D pass. Malefus gains the zone, but immediately met by a couple of Mount players. Kept in by O'Neill. Oh, Lopiano with some good skating, but finally does turn it over to Mount. And here comes Mount. They're gonna have some numbers here. Boumediene passes it into the center, but beautiful stick work by Malefus to dislodge it and lift it up and out of the zone. Oh, steal by Malefus, but Boumediene is able to maintain control. Looked like Malefus was gonna have a chance there. Oh, stolen by Fuggerino. Gets around the defenseman. Out in front, oh, just couldn't hit Malefus in stride. Still battling for possession. Throws it back on the goalie, hits the side of the nets. And long pass, and that's gonna be an icing call. So 4 minutes left in the first period. Mid Fairfield down by 1. So you've got Scranton, Ware, and Pan out there with Shunk and Kakaro manning the blue line. Oh, Kakaro went for it. Oh, beautiful play by Shunk to deny. It looked like Mount was gonna have a 3-on-1 there. And Shunk using that long stick to swat it back into the neutral zone, preventing an odd man rush. 3:52 left. Scranton at center. Scranton with a clean win to Kakaro. Over to Shunk, long pass. Couldn't hit Scranton in stride, and that's gonna be an offside. So Shunk up with a pass, puts it on to a Mount player. Scranton, oh, just unable to hit the net. He had a corner there, but just couldn't hit the net. Mount with a behind the back pass, but another beautiful play by Kakaro with a poke check. Battling in the corner, a couple of Mount players in mid Fairfield. Kakaro and Scranton kicked out by a Mount player. Shot, misses the nets. Thompson gives chase from Mount, with Fairfield able to beat him to the puck though. And mid Fairfield took some chances, and now Mount's gonna have a chance, misses the nets. Okay, and I believe we're gonna have a tripping call against Mount. So mid Fairfield is gonna go on its first power play of the day. So with 2:49 left in the first period, critical juncture for mid Fairfield. See if they can get up on the board here. So you've got Correa out there with Ludke and Lopiano, Kakaro and Malefus. Puck out to Kakaro. Kakaro with a shot that's blocked, and now you're gonna have a breakaway for Mount. They come out on Feach. Saved by Feach! Wow, what a save! He's able to ride the Mount player out. So, big stop for mid-Fairfield there. Mount with a short-handed opportunity, and Feach is able to ride the Mount player out. So there'll be a face-off right outside of Feach. Correa at center against Charbonneau. Charbonneau gets there first out in front. Saved by Feach into the stomach. So far, even though it's a power play for mid-Fairfield, 2 scoring chances for Mount there. Boy, he doesn't miss often from that dead range that he was. So mid-Fairfield dodging a couple of bullets right there. So Scranton battling for possession. Lutke comes in, steals the puck. He's hounded by a Mount player, hits the brakes, goes over to Lopiano. Lopiano surveys. Cross-ice pass to Malefus. Malefus with a full head of steam but loses the handle. Still chasing the puck is Malefus in the corner. And it's thrown the length of the ice. Oh, Chris, don't do that. Chris fielding the puck with nothing behind him. Making a nervous father. Oh, and it's stolen by Mount and thrown back in. And here comes mid-Fairfield again. Scranton now flies up the ice, gains the zone. Scranton trying to get by the defenseman, but hits the brakes. Thrown out. Oh, here comes Lopiano with a shot. Misses the net. Whistles around the opposite board. Malefus loses the handle at the blue line, and it's thrown out. Lopiano up with it. Over to Malefus. Cross ice. Here comes Scranton. Scranton gets by one defenseman. Out in front is Correa. Another shot by Malefus. Still loose out in front. Mount now up with the puck, leaves it for LeConte. Oh, here we go. We just had Fuggerino just couldn't catch the puck fast enough. So 56 seconds left in the period, 8 seconds left in the penalty to Armstrong. So far, mid-Fairfield unable to get anything going offensively on the power play. So win by LeConte, and it's dumped out though. And sticked aside by the Mount goalkeeper. Forecheck by Fuggerino. Bovinian unable to handle the puck cleanly, and it's going to cause an icing. 40 seconds left. So Fuggerino at the center. He's got LeConte right off his shoulder. So win by Mount. It's thrown out, kept in. DeRoberts tried to keep it in the zone, but I believe it's going to come out. The face-off will be on the red dot just beyond the Mount blue line. Fuggerino back out there. Fuggerino tied up. LeConte able to dump in, but now here's Mount again. Good forecheck by Johnston causes the puck to go up in the air. Charbonneau throws it deep into the zone. Mount gets there along with a couple of mid-Fairfield players. Come out, it pops up into the air. LeConte dumps it in. It's going to be an icing. Twelve seconds left here. Malefus at center. Win by Malefus. With Fairfield trying to get the puck out, dump back in. Both players keep kicking at it. No. So they were just going for the stick. The refs are talking about it right now. But I believe it's going to be a tripping call onto Roberts. So unfortunately, Mid-Fairfield's going to be in the penalty at the beginning of the second period. And that's a dangerous place to be with Mount there. Malefus back at center. Win by Malefus. And we're going to take about a 10-minute break, folks, and then we'll be right back at it. What's that all about? Okay, and welcome back to Exeter, New Hampshire. And we are in period number 2 of the New England Championships to determine who's going to go out to Michigan in March to represent the New England district in the national championship. And we had a tight first period. Mid-Fairfield down by a goal, and unfortunately, right at the end of the first period, committed a penalty. So we're going to be on the penalty kill to start the second period. Very dangerous spot for Mid-Fairfield right here. This is Mount's specialty here on the power play. And so, for some reason, oh, the ref fell down on the opposite side. Trying to put the net back on the Mount side of the ice. He looks to be okay. So your penalty killers to start the game, or start the second period: Malefus, Coccaro, Shunk, and Scranton. And win by Mount, thrown into the Mid-Fairfield zone right away. Mount looks to set up shop here out at their blue line. The top of the key. Oh, nice poke by Malefus. And Yadi's gonna have a breakaway here. One-on-one chance. Oh, and he's held up. Just couldn't get around that one defenseman and thrown back in. Malefus so dangerous on the penalty kill there. Oh, and the game clock went, but for some reason the power play, or the penalty clock, never started moving. And sorry, folks, we'll get this straightened out in a minute. Ref's trying to. So 16:22 left in the second period, 1:21 left in the penalty to DeRoberts. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Shunk gets over there, dumps it in, or tries dumping it out, unable to do so. Mount back up with the puck on the side of Feach, out in front. And nice play by, let's see, who was that? Malefus getting the stick down in front of Charbonneau. Charbonneau with a blast from right outside of the slot area, but Malefus getting a stick, having the puck go into the netting. Correa at center now. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Shunk tries throwing it out, but blocked by Mount. Puck still in the corner. Oh, and it skips by Charbonneau and out of the zone. So Mid-Fairfield able to dodge, take off some more time right there. Oh, too far by Mount. That's going to be an icing. So an unforced error on Mount is going to cause the icing penalty to go down to the Mount goalie. So Correa at the center position. And it looks like some of our problems have just left the area, so that's good. So Mount tries to get set up. Oh, nice play by Mid-Fairfield getting it out. Correa now causing an error. Correa causing all kinds of problems on the forecheck. Oh, beautiful play by mid-Fairfield. They throw it out the length, and here we go. We're gonna have a breakaway for Scranton. Out in front, up in the air. Oh, they just dodge a bullet. Malefus, though, still fighting for possession, and he's hung up. So mid-Fairfield with a chance right there, but Scranton undeterred gets it to Malefus. Just can't handle it cleanly. Oh, but stolen by Ludke. Dump it to the other side, and here goes Scranton. O'Neal is able to poke his nose in there and push the puck further back into the zone. Ludke up with it. Ludke to Malefus, and there's a save there. Nice chance by mid-Fairfield. So an even more important, mid-Fairfield able to kill off the penalty to start the second period. So Malefus, Lopiano, and Scranton back out there with DeRoberts and Boudry. Shot on the net. It's turned aside and turned over at the neutral zone. Oh, and here we go. Mid-Fairfield back in possession of the puck again. Lopiano just can't get a handle on it. And it's dumped off the glass. DeRoberts tried to keep it in. Nice play by mid-Fairfield to deny. The Mount had a 2-on-1 there. Mount's still in possession of the puck, though. Foyt up with it, shot, screened, but mid-Fairfield able to dodge the puck. Boudry goes hard into the glass. Here comes Fuggerino now, gains the zone, loses the handle on the puck though. And Mount, uncharacteristically, just turns the puck over at the mid-Fairfield blue line. And here comes Mount again across center ice. Dumps the puck into the corner. Mid-Fairfield battling for possession. LeConte gets it out. And Mount dumps it back in. Faitch tries to slow it down. LeConte now still battling with Mount. Johnston now up with it. Turns it over though at the blue line, and it's dumped back in again. Mid-Fairfield really struggling to maintain possession. Gaccaro now trying to settle things down. Finally, mid-Fairfield's able to slot the puck out. Fuggerino now able to dump the puck deep into the Mount zone. Good forecheck by Johnston. And mid-Fairfield's able to dump it back in. Goalie fields it, knocks it off to the side. Oh, stolen by Ware, but Mount able to come in and pick the pocket. Zambito now with a shot that's deflected off into the corner. Gaccaro over to Pan. Unable to get the puck out of the zone. Mount doing a good job clogging the center. The puck goes wildly into the Mount zone. Mount turns it over though. It was actually a shot on their own net. And now skips off into the opposite corner. Mount gets there first though. Boumediene there, passes it to an open teammate, out to his D. Shot. Faitch able to get a pad on it. Mount looks to reload though, but Ware gets in the way, throws it actually off the referee. Stolen by Pan. Pan gains the zone, tries to toe drag. Shot by by Correa that's gloved by the Mount goalkeeper. So 10:55 left in the second period. So you got Malefus at center. Malefus gets his way there, passes to a teammate, but then stolen by Mount, still battling at the end board. And Mount is up with it. Steal by LeConte off the side of the net. Ludke now up with it. Ludke puts it out in front. Hurl gets there, dumps it back into Ludke. Ludke hammered on the end boards. And it's shoveled out. No, kept back in by mid-Fairfield. And there's going to be a hand. Let's see what they're going to call it here. Sorry, I was obscured by some of the guys. Okay, I believe they called it a hand pass. All right, so it's going to be a power play opportunity for mid-Fairfield. Brown enters the penalty box for Mount. So you've got Scranton out there with Lopiano and Ludke, Coccaro and Malefus. The referee unhappy with something that went on there. So Malefus is going to come in, Scranton's going to go out. Shoveled out, but too hard. Lopiano's got to get on his horse because he's harassed by Boumediene from Mount. Oh, he just missed Scranton, and there's going to be an icing call. So Boumediene from Mount had fallen down. Mid-Fairfield tried to take advantage, but a little too strong on the pass to Scranton. Fairfield taking some chances here, but they know they have to put some points on the board. Scranton back at center. So Lopiano with some fancy skating gets away. Coccaro back to Lopiano, back to Malefus. Coccaro. Now to Malefus. Malefus unable to split the defenseman. They throw it the length of the ice. Oh, Coccaro turns it over right at the face-off circle. We thought a teammate was there. It was actually the Mount player. Malefus gets loose. Malefus got one guy to beat, but can't do it. Puck to the opposite corner. Scranton now trying to settle things down with Ludke. Ludke harassed by a couple of Mount players, but finally gets it to the top of the key. Over to Malefus, shot, and it's gloved by the Mount goalkeeper. So 9:15 left in the second period. Mount still up by a goal. 49 seconds left in the penalty to Brown from Mount. So mid-Fairfield just trying to get some action on the Mount goalkeeper here. Fuggerino now at center. DeRoberts now up with it. Oh, tried to get it to Boudry. Unable to get anything on the shot, though, and it's thrown the length of the ice, or sorry, around the corner, but shot on the Mount goalkeeper. And turned, and now it's the length of the ice. Faitch able to field it. Charbonneau all over the mid-Fairfield, DeRoberts. Mount employs a, and he just, mid-Fairfield just turns and fires it. LeConte gets hit with a puck. Mid-Fairfield just unable to settle things down. Now they're going to have a breakaway opportunity. Oh, and so mid-Fairfield, Charbonneau, with a nice play along the boards, got clean with a puck for a shorthanded opportunity. But now mid-Fairfield's going to head to the penalty box. So mid-Fairfield unable to get anything going offensively. So DeRoberts heads to the box here. 8:24, another critical juncture for mid-Fairfield here. So Malefus, Scranton, Picaro, and let's see, Shunk, I believe. Oh, stolen by Malefus. The puck goes out of the zone, but he just couldn't get a clean breakaway on it. Malefus with a forecheck. Charbonneau now picks up the puck, throws it to an open teammate. Nice play by Scranton, the pick play. Scranton throws it the length of the ice. Nice defensive effort from Kai Scranton there. Big juncture of the game here. Mid Fairfield can kill this penalty off. And the puck goes up into the Mid Fairfield bench, deflects off of the player's stick. So Malefus at center, he's got Scranton there with Picaro and Shunk. Picaro gets the puck and wheels it down into the Mount zone. Malefus is going to get to that puck first before the Mount player. Malefus now, but he's got 4 Mount players around him, finally loses the possession of the puck. Oh, here we go. Yanni Malefus with a steal, but just loses possession of the puck. Shunk now throws it back into the Mount zone. Another steal by Mid Fairfield. Couple of chances there for Malefus and Scranton on breakaways. They just lacking a little bit of puck luck there, and finally Mount enters the Mid Fairfield zone. Puck pinned up into the corner. Picaro looks on, and it's thrown out up into the stands off of a Mount player. So 18 seconds left in the penalty to DeRoberts. Mid Fairfield still battling with Mount along the glass. And it's thrown out of the zone, but it must have hit a Mount player on the bench. So 3 seconds left in the penalty. And they're going to set. So I'm curious why that, maybe it didn't hit them. Looked like it hit one of the Mount players on the bench, but they're taking the face off in the Mid Fairfield zone. 3 seconds left. Important ticks. Johnston with the win. Beautiful play by Johnston. Lopiano's trying to get there before Mount, but Mount's back up with the puck again. Out in front. Saved by Faitch with a pad. Oh, and mishandled by Charbonneau. And now here comes Malefus. Malefus out in front, but just loses the handle. And the netting's off. Boy, Yanni Malefus has had about 3 or 4 opportunities, and Mount has just gotten a hold of him at the last second. So Mid Fairfield kills off a big penalty by DeRoberts. And now we're skating 5 aside. Malefus at the center. Malefus races in, gains possession of the puck, but's pinned up along the boards. Ware up with it, dumps it back to Mid Fairfield defenseman Hurl, and now, but Mount back up with the puck. O'Neill forces the issue, dumps it back in. O'Neill gets it to Pan, shot off the pad, and here comes Mount. Mount gains the zone, hits the brakes. Stolen by Pan. Pan throws it out, but a couple of Mount players are all over him, and Foyt up with the errant pass. And that should be an icing. And it is 5-17. So Correa will be at center. He's got Ludke and LeConte out there with him. DeRoberts and Boudry. Correa goes low down into his stance. Win. DeRoberts with a shot. That's blocked. Turned and fired by Correa. Misses the net. Out in front again, but nobody sees it by mid-Fairfield. Fage comes out, fields it, throws it over to DeRoberts. DeRoberts tries to hit LeConte in stride, but it bounces off his stick. Tipped by Correa. Beautiful play by Correa. And here comes DeRoberts. DeRoberts tries to toe drag, loose out in front. Mount player sitting on the puck. And shot, and it deflects off the Mount goalkeeper. 4:42 left in the second period. Credit the Mount defense. Mid-Fairfield unable to get anything clean on this goalie so far. That's why it stands 1-0. So Scranton at the center, he's got Lopiano off his shoulder. Lopiano up with the puck, fires it! Saved by the Mount goalkeeper. Lopiano had a quick shot, wrist shot on the Mount goalkeeper. And it was a knuckler coming in on him. So they're gonna try that again. Scranton with a face-off. Over to Lopiano. Another shot off the pad, loose out in front. Still loose. Shunk able to get anything clean on it. Mid-Fairfield battling. And now here comes Mount. Shunk now on the side of Fage. Out in front, but mid-Fairfield there. And there's going to be an icing call on mid-Fairfield. 4:06 left in the second period. So Malefus at center. Mount back up with the puck out to their defenseman. Mid-Fairfield's collapsed in, but misses the nets. It's Mount. Mount and Mid-Fairfield battling in the corner. Campbell now pokes the puck back into the corner. Coccaro working hard, finally gets it loose. Coccaro is able to get it loose with Malefus. Malefus with a shot that's gloved by the Mount goalkeeper. 3:31 left. So Correa's at center with LeConte and Ludke. O'Neill and Hurl out there. Puck skips off into the corner. Wraps around to the other side. Mid-Fairfield with a turnover shot. Blocker saved by the Mount goalkeeper. Out to the Mid-Fairfield defenseman. Hurl, who dumps it into the corner. Out in front. Still swatting at the puck. It's loose. Oh, and the Mount goalkeeper just able to get his leg on it. So Mid-Fairfield is able to get a scoring opportunity there. But credit the goalie from Mount, who's able to get a pad down and stop the puck. 3:11 left to play. So Correa at center, he's got Ludke out there and LeConte. Out to Hurl, shot blocked. And O'Neal gets there first. Faitch unable to secure the puck. Shot, blocked by mid-Fairfield. And it's sent to the opposite corner. Dump back in. Still a battle on the corner. LeConte now up with it. Dumps it over to Hurl. Over to O'Neal. O'Neal surveys. Up to Correa. Correa gains the zone. Shot off the blocker, or sorry, off the pads. Mid-Fairfield able to keep it in though. Out in front, but Mount gets their sticks down. Denies. Correa able to, with a big hit on Mount. Mid-Fairfield able to keep it in the zone again. DeRoberts pinches in, trying to keep the puck in. And it's thrown out. Back and forth, the turnovers go, but here comes mid-Fairfield. Oh, they had Scranton open there for a second. DeRoberts trying to keep it in the zone, and does, along with Scranton. Mid-Fairfield working hard here. But here comes Mount, back in the zone. Mount's gonna have a 3-on-2. Saved by Faitch with the stick. Campbell now working against Scranton. Lopiano trying to get free. Scranton does. Ware now dumps the puck in behind the Mount goalie. Lopiano gets there. Turnover by Mount. Still battling along the mid-Fairfield bench is Boudry. Along with Ware. Romanian trying to get the puck out. Finally, Mount does. No shot on net. DeRoberts with a big hit. Oh, dog leg. Looked like there was a shot towards Faitch on the ice. Nice play by DeRoberts to deflect it over. Loose out in front, and nice play by Malefis to tip it out. And that's it. So at the end of 2, it's still mid-Fairfield trailing by a goal. So the third period is going to decide who goes to Nationals in March. We're going to take a short break. Yeah, do you know how to shut the sound? right, and welcome back, folks, to the second period, or the third period, sorry. And this is for it. This is for all the marbles. So if Mid-Fairfield can pull this one out, they will go to nationals in March. And if Mount wins, they're going to punch their ticket. So we've got 17 minutes to play to determine who's going to go out to Michigan in March to represent the New England district. So far, a very good game out of both teams. Mid-Fairfield able to match defensive intensity with Mount. And Mid-Fairfield's had its chances. It looks like more than a few chances to pop one in, but just hasn't fallen as of yet. So here we go. We've got Scranton, LeConte, and Lukey up front. Shunk and Caccaro out on D. So win by Mount on the face-off. Thrown, stolen by Lukey. Here comes LeConte, but he's got three Mount players all over him. And finally, Mount comes up with the puck into the zone, out to the blue line. Shot, deflects off Faitch's pads. Charbonneau up with the puck. Shot, misses the net. Mid-Fairfield on its heels a little bit here. And finally stolen by Shunk, who shovels it out to Lukey. Lukey able to get it deep into the zone, hits it to the opposite side. Shunk races over, and dumps it in further. Lukey back up with it. Doesn't get enough on it. Oh, and here comes Charbonneau right into Faitch's stomach. Just a blast from Charbonneau onto Faitch. 16:06 left. So Mount definitely coming out flying in this third period. Shot, blocked. Another shot wide of the net. Out to the top of the key, shot. Oh, glove save by Chris Faitch. Wow. Faitch comes up with a big one right there. 15:45 left in the third period. The refs have an issue with something. They changed the time on the clock. Malefus at center. Malefus with the win. DeRoberts absorbs the big hit. Fairfield trying to break it out. Oh, nifty pass, but turned over in the neutral zone. And Fairfield goes for the steal. Shot, blocked. Oh, beautiful defensive effort by Mid-Fairfield. So it's going to be an icing call on Mid-Fairfield. Those are kind of the unforced errors you're hoping to avoid. So dangerous having Mount back in your zone. Win by Mid-Fairfield, throws it around the corner. to Johnston. Johnston tries to connect a pan, but sticks down by Mount, causes the turnover. Oh, turnover by Mount. Here comes Correa. Correa with it on his stick. Oh, just couldn't get on. Shot goes off to the side. And Mount throws it out, but kept in by Hurl. And out into the neutral zone. Johnston able to weasel his way in. O'Neal able to keep the puck in, and we're gonna have a high stick here. 14:40 left. So LeConte will be out there with Scranton. Shunk and Caro out on D. I believe Ludke's out there with him. Ludke with a shot. It's gloved by the Mount goalkeeper. Mid-Fairfield's got a lot of shots, but unfortunately nothing clean. Scranton at the face-off. Mount wins it clean, throws it out. Cacaro able to keep it in, but then Mount does a better job, able to field the puck, but beautiful play by Ludke to keep the puck in. Here comes Mid-Fairfield. Mount's gonna have a 2-on-2. Good poke check by Mid-Fairfield, give and go by Mount, unable to connect. Now the puck's behind the net. Here comes Mid-Fairfield. Scranton trying to feed LeConte. And shoveled in. Ludke causing a turnover. Oh, nice play by Shunk, getting in the way of the backdoor pass, and the puck thrown high up into the air. Mid-Fairfield goes for a shift change. And stolen again by Mid-Fairfield. Here comes LeConte. He's got Malthus with him. Shot blockered aside by the Mount goalkeeper. Malthus gets loose, but loses the puck. And here comes Mount again. Yanni's just unable to get free against this Mount defense. Dump back into the corner. Cacaro now. Puck up in the air, blockered by Faich, off into the corner. Puck is loose out in front, swept away by the Mid-Fairfield defense. Malthus, tries to feed Lopiano. 3-on-2. Oh, and Mid-Fairfield gets back defensively. They had an open net. Lopiano looked like he was gonna have a breakaway. Here comes Mount again. They reload, and an offside on Mount. Mount had numbers, and an overeager winger from Mount causes the offside call. Lots of back and forth action here. Correa at center. Fuggerino and Johnston out there. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Hurl dumps it off. Correa gets there. He's hounding the Mount player. Johnston now out in front. Oh, they had Fuggerino for the one-timer. The puck lifted high up into the air. Mount gets there first. Mount gains the zone, drop pass. Shot, and it's in. So it looked like somebody tipped it. I think the refs are going to talk about it. The refs are going to talk about this right now because it dog-legged down. They are talking about it. Because the puck angle changed dramatically up in the air. Nope. Well, let's see what he's... Well, they're going to call it a goal. So, Mid-Fairfield does not get the call here, even though that was definitely a high stick. The puck changed dramatically up in the air. Boudry now with a shot that's gloved. So that critical second goal goes to Mount here. Thought there was a good chance the ref was going to wave that one off. Correa at center. Shot by Figueroa that's gloved. Correa held up, but goes after the players. Here comes Mount, dumps it in, gets by. Misses the net. Sonychek with a shot onto Faich, who's able to absorb it into his stomach and stop play here. 11:35. So Malif is back at center. Battling along the glass, both teams. Turns and fires. And Fairfield finally looking to settle things down. Here comes Malefus, gets by one player, can't get by two. Oh, and stolen by Mount. Breakaway shot, saved by Faich. Wow, big save by Chris Faich right there. Another save by Faich. Puck is loose out in front, and we're gonna have a penalty on Mount. With 10:42, cross-check by Mount. It's gonna give Mid-Fairfield an opportunity to get on the board today. Sorry, it looks like it's going to be a hook, not a cross. Nonetheless, Mid-Fairfield will go on its second power play of the day, down by 2. 10:42 left in the third period. Correa at center. Skips back to the Mount goalkeeper. So Correa back at center. He's got Lutke and Lopiano out there. Boudry and DeRoberts. Oh, Mid-Fairfield unable to keep it in, but they're going to whistle it and come back again, try that one more time. Win by Mount, but Correa gets there. He's got a couple of players pinned up. Mount throws it out. Oh, they're gonna have another breakaways. Campbell Faich comes out and fields the puck. Nice play by Faich to deny. And here comes Mid-Fairfield is gonna have a chance again. Well, Omidian gets the puck stolen from him. Mid-Fairfield with a shot, misses the nets. Loose out in front. So Mid-Fairfield wisely skating away. Don't want to draw any penalties here. 1:12 left and the penalty to Charbonneau. 9:54 left in the game. A ticket to Nationals is at stake here. Scranton at the center position. Back out to Coccaro. Coccaro. Malefus back up with it. Over to Ludke. Shot into the stomach of the goalkeeper. So they'll reload here. Scranton again. Mid-Fairfield keeps it in. Malefus now. Shot off the shoulder. Puck was loose there for a second there. Oh, and if Coccaro hurries, he's got a player down. Oh, just too much on the... And here comes Mid-Fairfield. Loose out in front. Oh, they had it for a second there. Scranton now looks to reload. Scranton with the puck. Loses the handle. And now Mount throws it out the length of the ice. 10 seconds left. Feach comes out. Throws it to Malefus, back to Scranton. The penalty's expired. Mid-Fairfield. Shot blocked. And here comes Feach. A save by Chris Feach. You gotta be kidding me. Once again, Chris Feach is able to preserve it. Mount with another breakaway, and Feach able to turn him aside to keep the goals at a 2-goal deficit. Mount really upset at something here. So, shot way wide. Mount keeps it in. Stonychek with a bounder. Feach is able to stick it to the side. And thrown back in again. 8:12 left. Hurl up with the puck. Hurl reverses course over to Ludke. Ludke tries to free it. And they're going to whistle that dead here. 8:01 left. So win by Mid-Fairfield. Lopiano up with it. Lopiano's got one guy to beat. Loses the handle on the puck. Hurl desperately trying to keep it in. Lopiano races to the opposite side, absorbs the hit. Now Hurl's got to race over, get the puck over to Pan. Pan unable to get there in time. Mount back up with the puck, but contested on the boards by O'Neill and Johnston. Players furiously moving their feet. And Mount loses the zone. Lopiano on the forecheck. Lopiano's got to get off. And there was a hit on Lopiano preventing him to getting off, and they're going to call an offside there, but I don't think they're going to get a call for a pick play. Now the refs are going to talk about it because clearly Lopiano was on his way out of the ice and out of the zone in time, and the Mount player hit him to prevent that. 7:09 left. Christian looks like he's in a little bit of pain. The ref's trying to explain it, but that was a clear pick play. So 7:09 left in the third period. Mid-Fairfield still looking to get on the board here. The ref's explaining to Scranton about the no call. And that's good to see. Christian looks like he's getting up. Refs are talking about it, but it's clear they're not going to make that call. So, second call in a row that's gone against Mid-Fairfield. That's been a big call here. So Malefus at center. He's got Scranton and LeConte out there with him. Win by Mount. That's thrown out. Oh, Armstrong beats him over the shoulder. It was turned over right at the blue line. So Mid-Fairfield down by 3 now with 6:59 left to play. Here comes Scranton trying to get by one guy, loses the handle on the puck. Thrown in. And Mid-Fairfield dumps it in. Bounding puck thrown back out. Correa tries to get it to Ludke, unable to hit him in time. And here comes Mount again. Shot and saved by Fage. So unfortunately, Mid-Fairfield's luck has run out with 2 questionable calls in the third period, costing Mid-Fairfield dearly. Correa at center. Boudry able to slide it over. Mount gets there first. Mid-Fairfield unable to get it out of the zone. Shot, saved by Fage. Nice stick work by Boudry to prevent the open net. And here comes Mid-Fairfield. Shot by Ludke that's gloved. Fairfield out in front, unable to get a clean shot. Misses the net. Correa up with it. Dumps it behind the net. Scranton working the puck along the corner. Boudry's still working it. And dumped in. Mid-Fairfield gives chase, 4:53 left. DeRoberts now with a shot, tipped! Oh, the goalkeeper keeps it out. And here comes Campbell again. Shot, saved by Faitch and swept away by Boudry. Big hit by DeRoberts, saved by Faitch. Dump back in, Faitch saves it, leaves it for Boudry. Puck chipped into the opposite corner. Faitch sweeps it away, but he's out of net. So one of the Mount players goes down hard into the boards. So one of the good things at this tournament is they've had EMS staff here to quickly attend to all the injured players, and that's it's been good to see. So it looks like the young man's trying to get up, but the EMS is talking to him still. So he's getting up, so that's good to see. So that's Zach Zambito, that many of the Mid-Fairfield players know well. Zach played with some of the kids as a youth, so it's good to see Zach up and moving around. So win by Mounts, tries shoveling it in, but here comes Mid-Fairfield. Fuggerino now tries to feed Malefus. Swept away, still battling along the glass. Fuggerino now still trying to get that open man. Mount does a good job shutting down those passing lanes. Out to the Mount defenseman. Shot blocked, and here we go. Yanni Malefus is gonna have his chance here. Oh, Mid-Fairfield misses two nets right there. Looked like Malefus had the goalie beaten, but he just couldn't get it by him. And out. Fates uses a stick to dislodge the puck. Scranton with a long pass over to Figurino. Figurino's got Coccaro in tow. Shot. Deflects off a stick. High up onto the glass, but not out. Figurino throws it over to Coccaro, but loses the zone. Fates has been pulled. Shunk throws it over to LeConte. Over to Correa. Open net, misses the net. Stopped by mid-Fairfield. Here we go. 2 minutes left. Fairfield's got to move the puck around against this Mount team. Throws it into the zone of the opposite corner. Ludke gives chase. Johnston now up with the puck behind to LeConte. And he's hammered into the glass. Correa gets there. And Fairfield just trying to work it out of the corner. So 1:15 left. Mid-Fairfield with an empty net. So they're going to call a timeout here. So you've got Correa out there, Scranton, DeRoberts, Ludke, Malefus, and Coccaro. Mid-Fairfield just trying to get on the board here. Malefus at the center. Ref giving some last-minute warnings to the players. Win by Mount, thrown the length of the ice, and that's going to be an icing. 1:08 left. So we'll reload. DeRoberts now up with the puck, tries shoveling it on net. DeRoberts out in front. How is that? So the net is off. Looks like puck never crossed the line, so we'll get going again. We'll reload with the same group here. skips off. Oh, and Malefus is hauled down. And that's going to be another icing call. Looked like we might have had a penalty there. Malefus pulled down by the collar to the ice, but no call. 49 seconds left.